We are, we are, we are, we are, we are, we are Duel Legion. So like and subscribe. So another way to run the samurais, like I do in the real world and not in the video game, is pretty much the power tool version of it, I guess. The power tool dragon version of it, you can say. Which is pretty standard kaizens. 3 of them. Get out the glare real quick for you guys. 3 Kigeki. Pretty much standard with that one. 3 Fuma. 2 Grandmasters. 2 Mashudo, whatever her name is, Mashudo. And Shaijan, 2 of these guys. That's pretty much standard for monster wise for like any Sam deck pretty much running right now. With the 1-ofs, I only run 18 monsters, and with the 1-ofs, it'll be Shogun. This guy, I mean, I'm not even gonna try to break my tongue and pronounce his name. And my guy Jinbei, or Ginbei, right? So 18 monsters. You don't really have to go to. You can go very hard with monsters in a samurai deck, but since Gateway pretty much cycles them back with the counters from the graveyard, you don't really have to. So it gives you space. Like you can just run 18 and use the other slots for other things and do other things. Moving forward to the magics now. Sorry about that. Speaking of the Gateway, one, of course, the one dojo, 3 Six Sams United, and 3 Smoke Signals. So, for the 6 Samurai spells, I should say, these are pretty much what you're running. 8. For me, at least, it does perfectly fine. You get what you need. It's all about speed, and pretty much the only thing you're really looking for is Gateway, just for you can wreck off. So that's the samurai spells. Like I said, we run a power tool version. So for me, at least, that means I'm running the bamboo version swords. So that means 1 burning bamboo, 3 golden bamboos, and 3 cursed bamboos, and 1 broken bamboo. You can run another burning, like you really can. It makes it come out a lot faster, but just dropping a curse brings a burning to your hand. So I run the broken just for the extra equip card, because the other 3 equip cards I have is DDR, Living Fossil, and Autonomous. These are pretty much just to get thrown out, and they're very situational when you need them. So you could pay 1,500, get a monster, pay 800, I believe, for Living Fossil. No, you're just targeting a level 4 lore. And DDR, you're dropping a card from your hand to get a remove from play. So just more like summoning power and fodder for when you're using your Noble Knight Link monster. That's pretty much it for the equip bamboo engine. Again, with the equip cards, you can pretty much mix and match them however you want. There's right and wrong ways to do so, but there's a lot of ways to run them. So that's just how I feel comfortable with it. For the 1-ofs, we got Rhoda, Reinforcements of the Army, Geki, and Reborn. In some versions, you can go hard with the successions, but in the way I'm running the physical version of it, didn't really need it. I'm not really too dependent on the Link monster to where I want to get him with all these like counters on him. So I'm not really stressing him, since I do run 1 and he's not really prevalent when he comes out. Like all I use him to get out is to get Gateway, and then I link him off to get a bigger monster. That's pretty much what I do with him. Speaking of which, moving on to the Link monsters. There's my guy. I only have one, so that's why I run one. If I were to wall out, I would put two. Three would just be unnecessary. Two is just if like they kind of like get rid of him or like stop his effect the first time, so I could just like shuffle him out for another one and just do it again. About it. Same reason why I run the two Noble Knights, just in case like they nerf the effect, I can just link off or bring out another one and do it again. So it won't stop me. It'll stop me for that turn or that play. But with 6 AMs, you can usually summon heavy onto the field, so you can literally get another 2 monsters and go again. For the last link monster, we're doing a Boarlord. Pretty self-explanatory. He's a beat stick, and he literally gets me out of sticky situations in a lot of duels with a lot of decks. So he's fairly easy to make in his deck. So why not, right? So when you're going for game, why not have a 3000 beater that can't be affected? I don't see the point. Not a bad idea in my opinion. Moving forward, that's the 4 links I run in the extra deck for this deck. Moving on to the exceeds, right? The support exceeds pretty much, would just be 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Abyss Dweller, and 1 Sea Dragon. Literally just support, just to bank out back row, stop their graveyard, and to special summon if anything gets banished. I'm running Secret Six, a few of them. They have banish outs effect, so tribute, exceed, pop a material, bring it back, and go into it. Except for the exceeds, so four links, 3 exceeds, and of course out of the 15, everything else is synchros. So starting off with the main guy, I run 2 Shiens. You can bump them down to 1 and put a Nutria Beast. Again, running 2 just in case they get rid of 1. I have 2, so just for backup. But 1 is usually what you need. 2, like I said, just in case. He's very heavy in my plays. I don't want to risk not having him on the field. Moving forward, okay, I guess we can go in like number order, right? In level order. F.A. Dawn Draster. Really good card. Him and Shien just creates more negation. Fairly easy to get out. Just a Jinbei and a freaking Grandmaster gets this out. And with him and Shien on the field, just double negation. The other 7 I have is, of course, the Power Tool Dragon. Tech-wise, like technical support, he's really good. Basically, when you summon him, you're allowed to reveal 3 from your 3 equip cards from your deck to your opponent. Opponent just picks one and it goes in your hand. Bing, bong, boom, like fang, fang, foom. Very simple. I do use it primarily for that effect. The second effect, basically, your opponent, if this card would be destroyed while equipped with an equipped card, you can send that card to the graveyard instead. Cool effect, but I just use them to get equipped cards in my hand. Pretty much simple. And that's only in the extent I have golden bamboos and a burning bamboo, or like I don't have a burning bamboo. I need to get like a curse out to freaking go into that, or like I have a card I could drop out for. Situational at best with Power Tool Dragon, but it's good to have him, especially when he works in the situation as like an extra, as like an extension play. So definitely a cool card to have with that one. Moving on to my 8s. Or just 1 8 is Boarlord. Since I only have the 3 2s, and the Noble Knight goes pretty easily to the graveyard when I use it for fodder, especially if I'm doing going into the battle Shogun, I got an easy 2 negates and 16, 18 is 800, so it'll be a 38 beater with two negates. No problem. If I do get a knockout with a Boarlord and they finally get it off, or I do some dumb stuff and put it in the graveyard just to bring him out, even better, you know. But I mainly use him primarily for the Battle Shogun and the Noble Knight Link monster, just to have the 2 negates with a bolstered and attack. And it's Boarlord, so it's again with Shien, Dragster, and Boarlord, you have multi-level of negates. So if you have 2 of the negators on the field out of the 3, you could pretty much just stop everything. You can get all 3 out. Like there's been plays where it's possible for me to get all 3 out, and once I get all 3 out, it's like, what are you gonna do? Nothing. You can just get negated and get slapped, Anything you do, I'm just gonna negate. Moving forward, one Trish, self-explanatory. I feel for anybody that plays the game long enough, and one Mistworm. Again, self-explanatory for anybody that plays the game long enough. Just field clears, and just to clear the field. For my guy here, the Infernal Noble Emperor, he's a situational beatstick too as well. He, like Power Tool Dragon, doesn't like, he could do cool stuff with equip cards, pop an equip card, destroy a card in the field. Really cool and broken for that one. And he can also, reason why I like using him is he can equip Fire Warriors from your deck, and I believe your graveyard as well too. No, just your deck. Yeah. Okay. I only get them from my deck. That's why I was like, is it graveyard too? But I only do the deck. But from your deck, you can equip them. Put like a freaking the Mishido or like a Shogun out if you really want to get. And all it'll do is increase him by 500. So not like the best effect, but again, he's just an extended beater that could do cool stuff with equip cards. And I have an equip card deck. Him and Power Tool Dragon are like the tech versions of it. But this is just another way to run 6 Samurais. Like and subscribe. I said like and subscribe. For cards of note, like whether you want to put them in your side deck, or if you just want to increase or run certain things in my builds or the builds you're seeing today differently, cards of note. 1-for-1 pretty good, especially with Fuma. And when playing 1-for-1 with the 6 Samurais, especially with Fuma, you don't waste your normal summon. So you can still, you get 1-for-1 out, you Fuma, tossing out one of the extras or one of the bulkier 6 Samurai monsters you have in your hand, get the Fuma out. Then if you have Kaizen, most probably you do, or you have like a Rhoda or a Smoke Signal, whatever the case may be, you get a Kaizen out, bam. Kaizen, Fuma, then you can go into Kageki, or you can summon Mishido or Shaijin and bring out the other one, go into a link better. It's just easier ways of forming and swarming. So, mentionable note for 1-for-1 for 6 Sams. Also notable is the Temple of the 6. 6 Samurai decks usually run into the problem of we get outpowered a lot. Dudes come out 3,000. Once they get into the 4,000 range, unless we got a 3-hit play that can get Kaizen, no, not Kageki, sorry, Kageki up to 3,500, and then we'll boost him for 500. With Gateway, then we'll make him 4,000, or we'll bring out Battle Shogun. We'll put mad counters on him, and then we'll bring out the Exceed dude, move him material, make his original attack 2,000, bolster him up, and then it's a whole bunch of work to get beat sticks in 6 Samurais. So work around that. Temple of the 6 is a very good card. Every time you summon a 6 Samurai, it puts a Bushido counter on it, very Bushido counter on it. It decreases your opponent's monsters on the field by 100. So there's been times in the game that I would get like 20 counters on it because I summoned like 20 times. So the moment any monster, Blue Eyes can come out, 3,000 beater, he's 1,000. A 4,000 beater come out, he's 2,000. So it just helps out there, especially if you put like a field barrier on it. If you want to go that far, if you're running like a beefier 50 to 60 card 6 Samurai deck, you can go in for the extra protection if you really want to go that route. But for notable notes, Temple of the 6 is a very good card to run in 6 Samurai deck. It's for 6 Samurais, duh, right? So continuing with the magics for noble cards, Legacy of Succession. If you're going Battle Shogun heavy, you can go 3 of these just to keep putting counters on them and keep just countering out and counter, and just keep going crazy. So a notable mention with that one is, with this one, a Monster Reborn and Living Fossil and all the other reborning abilities, you can pretty much just keep summoning and keep putting Bushido counters on the field and keep just recycling your cards. So notable mention for that one. Another notable mention, yeah, which is, how do you say this guy's name? What was this? Legendary Spirit of the 6 Samurai. He's like, I test played with him. Not my, he's okay. like when I first was like, oh yeah, he's amazing. But then I was like, yeah. Like when you normal summon or special summon in 6, then you can special summon him. But other than that, like he's not like. I feel those two things like you have to normal summon or special summon in 6. You can't just be a 6 samurai on the field like with Kaizen and Grandmaster and Shaijin and the Mashido, whatever crap her name is. This one is like you have to normal summon or you have to special summon the 6 samurai first, then you can special summon him. That I don't like that sequence. But for some people, they might want to use that because it's second effect, which is a pretty decent. Remember, monster in your graveyard until the end of this turn. This card attribute level and attack becomes the same as that banished monster. So you can banish the 6 samurai from the graveyard, and he basically becomes that card in attack, attribute, and level, and a defense, just not in name. So they can use it for that one if you want to go in like asceticism. But for me, at least, I don't want to say wouldn't recommend them, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend them. Bump that. Be honest. But cards of note, cards I wouldn't recommend in this deck, that guy. So, bye. Moving forward. She's actually really good in here. But I would have her as a side. Because if you got a guy like, you know, he's really clearing out and you got to go round 1 or round 2, removing her, banishing 2 samurais, reborning another samurai, just gives you, again, with sessions, just another reborning ability. I would just run her at 1. I wouldn't like, oh, I'm gonna put 3 in here, yeah, because she doesn't have any like outstanding like special summoning and swarming abilities, but she can get you out of a bind. Like if they wiped your board and they just summon one monster because they're top decking, and you summon her because you top decked her, you had it in your hand already, and then you banish out, bring back your Shien or your freaking Shogun or whatever monster you want to bring back, and then boom. So yeah, like that wise, it'll be great. But moving forward, in cards of note, Slash Draw, just speed up the deck. If I see a lot of some people running Upstart Goblin, cool. Slash Draw is way better than Upstart Goblin. Way better than Upstart Goblin. So, Slash Draw. If you don't know what it does, I'm going to not tell you in this video, for you can go look it up and realize how good it is, for you can use it. Okay? Okay, cool. So moving forward. Notable mentions as well. Evenly matched. I obviously don't run traps in this deck, in this version. But if I did, evenly match would be good because it plays from the hand as well. So, especially since if I didn't get like a Shogun out, and I know my Shogun's like creeping in the deck, and like they want me or like my field, I'm just not getting anything, which is rare, but it can happen. We shouldn't say it does happen, but it can happen. You draw evenly match. You can pretty much save your hide and bring out a big hitter, and that pretty much basically can stall them out too as well. So you get a more formidable field, as I would say. So yeah, simple. For me at least, these will be the cards of notable mention.
Me like fuck these bitches.
Send like and subscribe.
Voila!